Here we go. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Draw Talk. It's your boy, Tyler. Today, we are going to be talking about what it's like taking a different approach on your issue number 2 Kickstarter campaign, Indiegogo, but really, it's just going to be about taking a new approach in terms of marketing and getting your comic out there. So without further ado, let's get the show on the road. Draw Talk. All right, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Draw and Talk. It's your boy Tyler. Remember to smash that subscribe button, smash that like button if you're new. And guys, we're in a new setting because I'm finally in my new apartment. We have AC, and I'm not dying doing these streams. So let's just cut to the chase. Do you guys like that overlay that I have? Because I think it's pretty freaking sexy, and it took me forever to make. But I've got here Matt Knowles, and we got Steph Cannon here, both returners. Like, it's always, you know what I appreciate is there are some people who I talk with on Facebook, like you two, and we can have discussion through the comments and messages, and then you guys will come on the show. And then there's some people who just message me out of the blue every 5 months. Hey, can I be on your show? And then I won't hear from them. And then 6 months later, hey, can I be on your show? And as I've been doing less streams, I'm kind of just like, no. I don't want to. Like, even if we had good conversation, like, you didn't try to be my friend. So you guys are friends. You guys are awesome. So yeah, everyone, go. This is gonna be a good discussion. So let's just get introductions for those who don't know you. Let's start off with Matt, and then we'll go to Steph.
Hi, well, my name is Matt Knowles. I am one half of Insymmetry Creations with the other person in the third box up here that she'll talk here in just a minute. I'm the creator of Heirs of Isildur. I'm the writer and also the musician behind it. We've got a Kickstarter going on right now. It's got a few days left to see you guys over there. We have a bunch of other titles that are going on. We'll get to those later. So also over to you, other box.
I'm Steph Cannon. I'm the other half of Insymmetry Creations, and like Matt said, I'm not going to repeat everything. We've got a Kickstarter going on. I think that's the main thing we're talking about. But together we have a collective of stories that we're working on together that we're co-writing, and stories that we created separately that we're kind of combining into one umbrella LLC.
That's awesome. So what made you guys decide to combine forces, both of you?
Well, part of it was just that we had so much chemistry, the way that we're working together, and we with the whole yin to yang kind of thing, the things that I was really strong, and Steph was weak, and I was strong in, and we realized that we were already helping the other person before we were even working together, and so it just became just a super organic, obvious thing. Why don't we kind of officially do this? She was already helping me out on Heirs of Isildur. I was helping her out on some of the projects she was doing, and it just felt organic. I mean, we always like to say when we work together on projects, one person sits in the driver's seat, one person sits in the passenger seat, but the person in the passenger seat is the one with the map and all the navigation. So just because the one person is sitting behind the steering wheel doesn't mean that they know everything to get us where we need to go. That person in the passenger seat is the one that really has the plan and understands, hey, I know where the person in the driver's seat wants to go. I'm going to help them get there. And we always have different roles in the different titles that we have. And it actually has worked out really well so far because we both know we both want to get to the same point.
So with that being said, like Steph, I know you are working on, other projects. I know you were you were working on a graphic novel with the artist of Scrimshaw with Alterna Comics. How does Matt fit in that? Is that still like a solo thing, or is that part of Insymmetry?
Yeah, pretty much everything that we're gonna do, we say is part of Insymmetry, even if it's something that is completely written. I mean, Heirs was written and created by Matt. I came in and was editor, and I see Matt kind of playing the same kind of role. We say it's not just an editor for Heirs, I'm also story consultant. So we're going through and kind of fine tuning. It's easy. It's easy when you are writing the story yourself. Sometimes you don't see all the little nuances that somebody else can see. So it's even a little bit more than like an editor's standpoint. You can be, a story consultant and go, okay, when you wrote this part, explain it out to me. That way we know that if a fan comes up at the booth and asks the same question, we're going to have that answer ready for them already. But the graphic novel script, it is still going to happen. Matt is definitely going to be helping in any way possible that can be helped out. I always say it's better to have a team than to try to do something solo. That's just how we work well together. That's just how we feel. You'll definitely be seeing that in the future sometime.
For sure. No, that's awesome. So real quick, before we get into our topic, guys, we're going to be talking about taking a different approach. I'm going to change the title afterwards, but taking a different approach to marketing your comic. I think that's what we're really going to discuss here. But I just want to get into the chat real quick. We got Chewy KJ here saying early and ready for the live chat. That's awesome. Got Lego Studios in the house. And then we got Specs Vision, Matt Rise, and we got my boy Britton, some Okie dude in Zach's art channel. And guys, this is a really cool. This is gonna be a really fun stream. It's only gonna be for 45 minutes because it's hot in here still. But I just need to turn the AC on. But we're gonna keep this a tight show. We're gonna be talking about marketing your comic. One thing that I think all creators struggle with, not all creators, but a lot, what most creators struggle with is marketing their comic. And Matt and Steph have taken such a weird, they've decided to market this like they're on tour. You guys are on a music tour. So let me pull up your guys' Kickstarter real quick and just tell me, why did you guys decide to go on tour?
Well, this is the second Kickstarter we've done. The first Kickstarter we did, we only had one show during the duration of the Kickstarter. I did 2 days at Daytona Beach Comic Con. And it was fun. It was a great show. But one of the things it did not address was all the dead spots in a Kickstarter campaign. Everybody who has run a Kickstarter knows that unless you are the upper echelon, top 1% of people that are running Kickstarters, there's going to be a couple of spots in your Kickstarter campaign where you're going to have $0 days and negative days and very little activity. And we didn't want to just take that line down in a sense. We wanted to make sure that we were doing everything we could during the campaign to try and help to bridge the gaps in those spots. We never intended upon having as many shows as we do right now. There's just a lot of stuff that kind of organically came up. We originally had 3, and now we have 8. 8 opportunities during the campaign to be able to get out there and get our faces in front of people in different places, and so we just took them.
And by the way, that tour starts tomorrow morning for me at 4 o'clock in the morning as I drive to the airport to fly to Florida to start this. So that's in I don't know how many hours, but that's the start.
The fact that you guys have everything so lined up, we know that we're gonna launch on this day, and then within that 30 days of that Kickstarter, we have something lined up. So we're constantly promoting. So we're constantly in people's faces. I mean, I forget the number, but they said that someone has to see something 7 times or something before they finally make a decision to buy it. Wow. And so, my feed is I've seen this Kickstarter everywhere. I've seen what you guys have been doing. You guys are constantly posting. It's no wonder that your guys' project, is funded. 107 backers, 10 days to go. I mean, that's freaking awesome. And for those of you watching, I put the link in the chat, but the link is also in the description if you guys want to go check it out. And one thing that's awesome is this is it's a trade paperback, issues 1 to 11. This isn't just an issue 1 or an issue 2, although you can get that, but you can get a full on freaking story on there. That's a big feat for indie comic creators.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. This is something where, the first 10 issues of Airs and the 12-track metal album were all self-funded. People say that we're completely nuts for doing that, and they're probably right. But we're talking about artist costs and printing and promotion. All that was all self-funded. Steph and I made the decision earlier this year. We're like, we needed to start moving ourselves into the Kickstarter realm. And we actually did Tales from Nocturnia, which is the spin-off from Airs first. And that went well. And we said, hey, this went well. We don't want to be taking Airs to self-funding anymore. We want to get it out in front of other people's eyes because, yes, you want to get on Kickstarter because you want people to back your project, but we want to be on Kickstarter because we really believe in the Air story, and it's a fun story. It's unique. It's not something that you're going to get in many other places. How many other Kickstarters do you know that you can say have a full-on metal album that was created by the creators of the story that actually integrates in with the actual story itself. You don't need one or the other to enjoy, like you don't need the album to enjoy the story, you don't need the story to enjoy the album, but when you put them together, you get an experience that is completely unique and not like anything that's really else out there right now.
No, it's awesome. So last time we talked, we were talking about, you guys came on for Tales from Nocturnia. And now, we're talking about, Heirs of Isildur, issues 1 to 11, I mean, self-funded. I know what you're talking about because I self-funded all 14 issues of Demons. And then I was like, okay, now I should probably put these on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Let's try to make my money back. Yeah. It's a lot of work. So with that though, I was actually talking with the creator today, and he was saying how, I find making comics are hard. And I said, well, comics actually, they're not that hard to make. And he goes, well, I want to make money. Okay. And then that's where I went, okay, now we're talking about two different things. Are you a hobbyist? Because you can make a comic, you can find an artist and make a comic, but are you wanting to monetize something that you love? Us three creators are here because we are monetizing not just a hobby that we love, but we love comic books. And so when you're wanting to make your money back, you need to make decisions early on before these campaigns and during them that a hobbyist wouldn't do. Steph, what do you guys think? What do you think that you guys have done differently from Tales of Nocturnia, and you guys are doing new in Heirs of Isildur? That was like a train wreck of a sentence, but I think you got what I was saying.
I think, well, to start, we're handling it a lot different. It's really hard. It's stressful when you're doing your first Kickstarter or any kind of crowdfunding at all. You are, obsessively checking it, and that doesn't mean that we're not still. I mean, we celebrate every time we get a backer. It doesn't matter if you back for $6 or you back for $100. We're going to love you and celebrate you. Trust me, we get just as excited no matter who it is. So we're approaching it differently as far as, being a little bit calmer, trying not to stress out. If we get those days, inevitably you're going to get a day where you're not going to have any backers. This campaign's a little bit different because we have a lot of stock already of Heirs merchandise that we're able to have available for people. With Tales from Nocturnia, we kind of had to come up with and create all of the stuff. I mean, and we had tons of stuff. We had leather gauntlets and we had coins, and there's stuff that we did for Tales that we're going to do for Heirs as well. We're doing trading cards. We're going to do a series of trading cards for each thing that we do. And so this will be series 2 of the trading cards, but of course with the Heirs characters. So that's a little bit different. We're trying to, I think the biggest thing that's different is we're trying to do more shows. And we have found that bringing the tablet to the booth and having the tablet right there and talking to people about the Kickstarter, it's been amazing how many people have signed up right then and there. And that's been the biggest difference, I think, for us. And part of it is just luck. We didn't go out and go, we're going to do 8 shows this campaign. They just sort of kind of fell into our lap and we had these opportunities. And now we're kind of like, okay, we're onto something here. This is something that's really cool because you're getting face-to-face interaction with people, and they can see the booth, they can see the product, and so it's a little bit better than somebody just going to the site and watching the video and not knowing us as creators. Was that planned,
by the way? The you guys like having store appearances during the campaign, like going to cons during the campaign, so that you could have your tablet there for people to sign up. Was that a deliberate decision, or was that just perfect timing?
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. We already knew that Steph was going to have the Alternate Comics panel at San Diego Comic-Con. We already had the Acme Comic Creator Con set up on the 17th, and we already had Sunrise Comic-Con set up this coming Saturday in Sunrise, Florida. Those 3 were already set up before the Kickstarter. The other 5 appearances kind of just came organically. Travis Gibb was like, hey man, I have a comic signing at a comic store in Melbourne, Florida. Anybody want to go down there? I was like, sure, let's do it. So went down there to that one. The local comic store in town, there was a local wrestling federation that had a bunch of legends in, and they were like, hey, we have Mick Foley from WWE that's going to be up here. We want you guys to come up here and do the signing with us too. We're like, yeah, heck yeah. Now we have a video of me giving Mick Foley Steampunk Sacco at the thing this past Sunday. We have a radio show that asked us to go into their studio and do a radio broadcast with them this coming Friday morning. And then we have a steampunk show called End of Summer Steampunk Bash that we're doing this Sunday in Clearwater, Florida. That these things all just kind of came up organically And we're like, hey, if we can fit all these things in, then, let's freaking do it. Why not? What else are we going to do? We're going to be sitting around clicking that refresh button on Kickstarter obsessively. Let's get out there and do something.
I like that attitude so much. And real quick before I even comment on that, John Dillard is in the house, guys. John Dillard draws. He is he's an awesome artist. He's an awesome guy. Go check him out. We also got IndieCom TV. Todd is in the house. IndieCom TV is going to be a really interesting project. And I'll probably have to have Todd. We'll have to have you on so we talk about that. And we got my boy Justin in the house. He's throwing in the link for you guys' Kickstarter. Thanks so much, Justin.
Oh, thank you.
Justin's one of my good friends, and he's a mod on this channel. But like you said, so many creators, what they're doing is they just keep hitting that refresh button, hoping and praying that money is gonna magically show up, and it's like. And maybe instead of just keep clicking that refresh button and just posting the same crap on Facebook, what are you doing to go out there, and just think about it. What are look at some of our favorite movies. Look at Avengers Endgame. What are they doing to promote these movies? All the actors are hitting up tons of TV shows, radio shows, YouTube shows. I mean, you would think, oh, it's Avengers Endgame, it's going to sell itself, when actually, no, these actors spend 2 or 3 months on a press tour doing tons of marketing for a movie we already know is going to hit $1 billion. That's a layup for them at this point. But it just goes to show the importance of marketing, and you guys, you guys are killing it. You guys are doing a good job. What is something you guys feel like you think you could do differently though on the next one?
That's a good one. So I don't know do you have an answer for that one, Steph?
I think we're still trying to find one of the things that we learned and that we just did, and so we can't even really say what the results are at this point because we literally just did it yesterday. We know what it's like to back Kickstarters and get a lot of Kickstarter emails. I mean, I don't know if there anybody else out there backs a ton of Kickstarters, but I get I'll wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 8 Kickstarters from different campaigns. A lot of that can become white noise to people. We're constantly updating. We want our backers to know what's going on, but we don't want to forget about the backers that backed Tails.
Absolutely.
And an idea that was given to us by the Metal Shark Bro guys was to send an email, an actual email out to those backers and just say, hey, thanks again for backing. We hope you love the product. And, just in case you don't know, we have another one going on, and it's tied to the Tales from Nocturnia that you are hopefully loving if you want to check it out. That was an idea that we got, midway through the campaign. I think that, trying to make sure that our backers that have supported us with the last 2 or the last one come back and, want to continue to support us, because that's our bread and butter right there. Friends and family are always going to support you, but you need and want those, returning fans. So I think that is probably one way that we'll concentrate on a little bit more, maybe with the next campaign earlier on too.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is that you look at some of the campaigns that are the most successful right now. Obviously, Brian Polito, and then you even look at Metal Shark Bro. I'm not even worried about the fact that Metal Shark Bro is far away from their goal. You look at the amount of dollars that Metal Shark Bro has raised right now. Those campaigns are very art heavy, and that's something that is not. I mean, obviously we have art. I mean, we have Brian Silverbacks from Scout Comics who just did a variant cover for us. And he actually said, hey guys, you can put on your campaign the fact that one person can get the one-of-a-kind 11x17 inks of this. If they want it, they can get the artist here. He's got the one-of-a-kind inks. That's something that we have not been as big on having probably as much pinup art as we need, or as much extra stuff like that. I think that's part of the reason why Metal Shark Bro does as good as they do, besides the fact that they promote relentlessly, is that they've got tons of awesome art from Walter Ostley and all the other people. And I think that's something we need to make sure we get into when we get to the next 2 Kickstarters that we do, being the next Tales from Nocturnia and then inevitably an air sequel.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, Brian Polito, Larry Patrick Higgins, he shows me the boxes that he gets from Brian Polito's. He's like, look, I got a pin. I got 5 stickers. I got the book. He pulled out a condom. There was a Lady Death condom. He goes, I don't even know if I'm supposed to use this or not. This is cool. I don't even know if this is safe. But people, it's interesting that we as indie creators need to understand the market that we're in. We're not on the shelves of comic book stores. We're not in Diamond. So really, we're not just selling a book. We're selling an experience. We're selling extra things. We're selling, I guess, exclusive things. This is your 30-day Kickstarter is an exclusive experience for the people that back it. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of half regret, half don't regret. I did Demons Volume 1 on Kickstarter, and I did Demons Volume 2 on Indiegogo. And I didn't have many people return from Kickstarter to go to Indiegogo, but I raised more on Indiegogo and got more new people. So I'm thinking, and I'd love to know what you guys think of this. I'm going to do Volume 3 on Indiegogo, but then after the Indiegogo's done with that, do a Kickstarter for Volumes 1, 2, and 3 after the Indiegogo's done, because some people just like their certain platforms. I don't know. What is your guys' take on that?
We've known quite a few creators who have done that successfully, because there are some that are very, dedicated to one platform over the other. And so, I mean, I think our opinions, it can't hurt to reach out to, if it's a different audience. Absolutely.
That's true. It's just about growing an audience. Some people are in Kickstarter, some people in Indiegogo. Maybe try to hit some of that. All right, really quick, guys, if you guys have any questions for Steph and Matt, these guys are not just like indie creators who popped out, this year. These are seasoned indie comic creators. I remember when I remember first seeing Steph, and I was like, dang, this lady just came out of like nowhere. It was like Steph's like, I write comics, and then all of a sudden I was like, I just won an award, and I just won another award, and I'm doing these one-page comics, and then I'm working with Alterna. I was like, okay, who is this lady? Tell her to take a chill pill.
Never.
And yeah, never ever. Do you guys ever get drained by doing indie comics? Like, I've doing this show, talking with a lot of indie creators, there seems to be a huge burnout, because this is ultimately kind of an expensive side hobby. I mean, you guys are doing a lot of traveling and stuff. We're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of our campaigns yet, but it's that slow grind that we're in, and I think we're in a pivotal moment where we're either going to continue to grow or burn out. What do you guys say to those creators who are just like, they're burning out?
I would say that the first thing that you want to do is understand that, and you've already mentioned it earlier when you look at Endgame. Endgame is not successful because Endgame was a movie. Endgame was successful because the actors, the writers took it outside of that screen, and they brought the experience to talk. They brought the experience to different places to mix it up a little bit, and it's going to give it more of a chance to succeed because it's more than just what's on in that video screen. I think for a comic writer, the way to keep it fresh is to not just get in that rut of, I'm going to write a story, get with my artists and my letterers and my editors, and then go put out an issue and hope for the best. Mix it up. I mean, like I said, Ayers has got a 12-track metal album. There are 3 music videos on YouTube for it. There's going to be more music coming out. We dress in steampunk for every show that we do. That's just part of our thing, because Ayers is a steampunk title. And, we're at steampunk shows, we're at comic shows. We try to mix it up, and we're in front of different crowds. That is what kind of keeps it fresh, because you are hitting different crowds and different people that are looking at it in a different way. And for us, that's what's helped us to keep that vibe fresh.
Yeah, I think it's important to know that with anything, there is going to be a little bit of burnout, and that's okay. I think if we can embrace that and know that there's going to be days where you're going to love it and you're going to be firing on all cylinders and you're going to feel creative and you're going to interact with people and it's going to be all positive, and then the next day might not be exactly that. I'm a runner, and one of a very popular saying with runners is embrace the suck, which is that there's going to come a point in any race or run where it's just going to suck. It's just not going to be fun. It's going to be tough. You're going to have to really push mentally and physically. And I think that goes for anything in life, not just creating comics, but jobs, just life in general. There's going to be times where it's going to be a little bit difficult. And it's good to kind of step away. I was even telling Matt today, I said, man, I'm so excited that we have these shows coming up so that we can actually be up on our feet and interacting with people and moving around, because doing a Kickstarter, you're in front of the computer all day, trying to promote, trying to find ways, trying to, keep up on the campaign and everything. So changing it up a little bit if you can, even if it's just changing your surroundings for the day or for a little while, I think it helps immensely.
So with that, you said, what is it? You got to ride the suck or what? What was it?
Embrace the
suck.
Just got to know that it's just going to be tough sometimes.
Yeah. So let's get raw, guys. Let's get raw. What are some of the suckiest parts you feel like in making comics? What are the things that make that suck?
That suck or that suck in when you're I would say part of it that sucks is the promotion part of it. In when you go to promote, like my biggest thing is I've always say the thing as a human being that I hate is the thought of I'd go create something and it would get met with the sound of a pin dropping, completely invisible. Nobody would give a crap about it. And it would just be like all this time and effort and money invested, and it would just be complete silence. Nobody even gives a crap about it. And I think that there's some aspects of trying to promote that become that way. One of the things we've seen differently this Kickstarter than the first one, and maybe it's because of the time of year, maybe it's because people are desperate to get backers, is some of the boards where there's Kickstarter information are just getting relentlessly pounded by everybody. And a lot of times it's just people sharing the same thing over and over. And if you've got something, hey man, we just released the fact that Pat Shand is going to be in our digital pack and Russell Nolte is going to be in our digital pack, and you put it up there and you go up 5 minutes later and it's buried 15 posts down. Nobody even looked at it. It's hard. It sucks trying to find ways to get people's eyes on you without feeling like you are just whoring yourself out just for the sake of getting those eyes on you. That's something I think kind of sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And it's hard. One thing that I struggle with is stepping out of my comfort zone, because it's very difficult for me to, I don't want to say beg, but that's how I feel. Like sometimes when you reach out to people, you just feel like it doesn't come easy for me. I would rather, be having a conversation with somebody and organically bring up, hey, I'm working on my Kickstarter, instead of like feeling like I'm cold calling them. Mm. So that type of thing, even though it's not, because these are your friends, these are your peers, and we're all here to support each other. So people probably don't feel that way, but I feel uncomfortable doing it. And so I'm working on trying to be more comfortable doing that. But that's definitely a struggle for me, because I don't ever want to feel like I'm bugging somebody.
Well, because in essence, you are saying, hey, like,
give me money.
Give me exactly. No, exactly. That's really what it is. And some people, it's a struggle. To say, hey, like, give me money, but ultimately, it's like, hey, I really believe in this. But also, okay, what do you guys think about this? I have supported, and I'm going to bring this up to everyone, by the way, after I say this, because I was going through my Kickstarters and my Indiegogos I've backed, and I realized out of like probably the 10 or 15 that I've backed in this year, I've only gotten one.
Oh no!
You know what? No, that one better be ours.
No, yeah. Sorry. So I've gone two. I've gone yours and one other person's. Yeah, because I was like,
we actually got our stuff out a little early.
Yeah, I do remember that. And so with that, when people are like, oh, like people aren't backing projects, bad creators, not you guys, but bad creators, they hurt the Kickstarter and Indiegogo and crowdfunding campaigns, because, when someone says, hey, will you back my project? I'll back your guys' project in a heartbeat because I know I'm going to get my book. For someone who's new, I'm like, flip, I don't even know, like, when, I don't know how you do your business.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do your business.
That's kind of scary.
And some of those people make me hate the whole crowdfunding platform, because they're ruining it. Because some people are like, well, man, I didn't get my book, so all of Kickstarter sucks. Do you guys find that? I mean, Matt, you were telling me that it's currently a slow season for Kickstarters. Kickstarter, you feel? Why do you think that?
You know what? I really don't know. I don't know if it's because it's the post San Diego Comic-Con blues. It's because people are going to a lot of shows. You can go up and look at KickTrack, and you can look at the big time guys, and the big time guys are having a week like just blows your mind how slow it is. I think that it's because it's, people are going to shows a lot, and they've already tapped out their money. Going to the big cons and getting the A-listers, $100 signatures and things like that. So there may not be as much money as when you might have been, a Kickstarter launched in February or March. People may not have their tax money. And to your point, I completely agree. You have to be able to show you have a pedigree. One of the things that was good for us when we did Tales from Nocturnia is we were like, hey, this is our first Kickstarter, but we've already done 10 individual issues and a metal album and a reprint, and we didn't miss a deadline. We always got our stuff out to everybody as quickly as possible. So we already had a pedigree before that. With this Kickstarter, we'd be like, dude, not only do we have a pedigree before it, we got our last Kickstarter out to people early. Mm-hmm. For this one, issue 11 is already done. We finished issue 11 the day before we started this Kickstarter. The thing that is going to probably be the last thing finished is we're actually going back through. We're calling this an enhanced trade paperback. And part of the reason it's enhanced is because anyone that's followed Heirs knows it started off as an illustrated novel and has turned into a comic book. We're going back through the first few issues and actually relettering and reformatting all those so that way when you pick up the trade paperback, you're getting 260 some pages of the same format. So you're getting word bubbles attached to characters just like you would in any comic. And we're working on that relentlessly throughout the campaign because we want to have it be as close to being done as we can when that last second clicks off. But we want people to know, hey, this isn't us sitting here going, oh, we're going to do a Kickstarter. Now what are we going to do? How are we going to finish this off? Dude, we already know what we're doing. We already know how to make it happen. We're just waiting for the Kickstarter to be done, getting the funds deposited so we can get you guys out this stuff so you guys can go, cool. I can't believe I never checked out Heirs before. This is pretty awesome. Where steampunk comics and metal collide, I want to be right there.
I like that. So with this then comes possibly my final question. I'm just looking at the time, but we're good. We're at the 30-minute mark. How important is it to make it known that you as creators are constantly working on something? So like for me, right now we have 13 people watching. Last week we had a week and a half ago we had 30 people watching, but I took a week and a half off of YouTube, which means I'm not in people's faces, so they're like, "Oh, where did Tyler go?" And now, starting, today, this is the first stream I've done in a week and a half. I'm gonna have to, come back face to face. Do you feel it's the same way with comics? Like if you don't put out if you're not putting out something new every couple months, people are gonna forget about you. Do you guys feel that way?
Absolutely, and we could even tell you in our own experience, when we put out Heirs issue 6, it's the only issue we put out in the last year and a half where we did not have a show. We had shows for issue 5 and we had shows for issue 7. And issue 6 at that time was the worst selling issue that we had because we weren't out in front of people's faces. We only were doing online promotion, and by the time we got out to a show, 7 was already out. And so I completely agree with you. You always have to have something going on so that way people can see that you're not stagnant. Because if you're not doing something, the next guy is going to be doing something. And it's a tough industry. There's a lot of people out there doing a lot of really good things. And for people to remember you, you've got to continue to create quality content. And if you're not creating quality content, they're going to go on to the next guy.
Yeah, I mean, indie comics is such a small pool. And, of course, the people that are going to support you no matter what aren't going to forget about you. But people that know of your name might be a little bit familiar with your work. Maybe they read one of your comics and they enjoyed it. When you come out with your next one, they're going to go, oh yeah, I really loved what they did before and I can't wait to read what they do again. Those are the people that will probably forget about you if you're not putting out content on a regular basis. So you've got to kind of not just rely on those that are going to be steadfast, just like we were saying with the Kickstarter. Can't rely on just friends and family to support you. They're gonna, and we love that, but you can't rely on that solely.
You have really great friends and family, man, because, my friends, I don't even promote. You probably, if anyone notices, I don't promote on my personal Facebook because no one gives a shit on my personal Facebook. No offense to my family and my friends who I went to high school and whatever with, but they don't give a crap. Like, they don't give a crap about it. Some of them gave a crap on the first campaign, but then they were crickets on the second. I guess final question. What are you guys doing to in comics and really anything? There's always creators. There's always fans who are also creators. and then there was also just people who are just readers. They're just fans. They love the medium, and I feel like a struggle that I constantly have, and I'm constantly having it with this channel, this YouTube channel as well, where, you know, this channel is like, when we do these live shows, you know, we're talking about creating comics. We're talking about, you know, airs. We're talking about, you know, promoting our comics and, you know, and whatnot. But at the same time, you know, if I was just a reader, I'm like, I don't care about marketing. I don't care about marketing a book. Just give me the book. And so with that, like, you know, the 15 people who are watching right now, thank you for being here. I'm almost sure that 90% of them are all indie comic creators who are like, yeah, what are these people doing? So the struggle I always find is how am I going to find though these people who aren't creators, just readers? Have you guys thought about that?
You know, I think that for us, one of the things that's really good is the fact that we step into so many different markets. When we go to a steampunk show, like this weekend, we are at a pop culture event on Saturday, and we're at an absolute steampunk event through and through on Sunday. There are very few people that go to those steampunk shows that come in going, I can't wait to find the next comic book. They come in to say, is this something that is quality that I can go escape into it? Because anybody that knows steampunk culture, it's about escapism. It's about, you know, whimsy. It's about going out and just having fun. And if they can have another story presented to them, another way presented to them that they can go and escape into that vibe, they're going to want to take it. We've had a lot of success there. With airs, it's very easy for us, I feel like, to go and get into the minds of people that want a good story because we really like the story. It's designed. Our thought is always we want to make characters people can relate to and universes people want to escape into. And that's something that when we look at the stories we create, we feel like helps to bring in those people. They don't care about the technical aspects. They don't care the difference between what, you know, rough pencils are versus inks versus flatting versus final colors. They don't care about that stuff. They just want to know, is this story going to be something I'm going to enjoy? Is it something I can read with my family in a sense because we don't have any curse words in airs or Nocturnia? Is it something that doesn't mean that it's a kid's story? It just means it's something that doesn't have a bunch of gratuity in there. Those are a lot of the questions that we get when we are at shows. They're just like, is this something I can read with my kid? Yeah, if you want to, you better explain to a bunch of the heavy topics.
So really, breaking down then what the different aspects that the different environments that your comic could possibly market to. So, you know, you're comic book fans, but then now you're entering the steampunk, but then you're also hitting up the metal fans. Now you're hitting up musicians. I'm trying to think, what can demons do? I don't want to go to any cults. I don't want to sacrifice anyone. I don't want to be like, I don't want to have to like wear a robe, be like, all right, guys, I'll slit my wrist, but real quick, you guys want to read my comic and then I'll commit. But I that's actually really interesting that you guys have just like found different markets because, you know, you're like, well, why not go to a steampunk convention? It's your genre. I'm thinking about doing a comic book where the villains are all food. It's like every monster is just food. It's like this crazy hamburger, but there's going to be at the end of each issue will be the recipe for that particular food monster. And then I want to go to some cooking shows. Now that you've said that, I want to go on to some cooking shows and be like,
that's exactly what you need to do. Like, you got to cater to your genre and your market. So if you're writing horror, there are lots of horror conventions that you can find your niche into. There are conventions that we go to where we're the only comic people there. You know, a lot of steampunk shows where it's all wares and leather makers, and then there's us. So you could go to a farmer's market with that kind of thing, you know? And like, I'm serious. It's like weird. There's a show that we do called Renegers in Florida, in Mount Dora, Florida. And the first time I went to it, I said, this is a flea market. And it was kind of like, I don't know about this, but they do a thing called Steampunk Days, and it has a huge following, and it was one of our best shows, and we met some amazing people that were lovely and wonderful and bought our comics, and so you never know.
I think I'm just restricting myself now. I just feel like I'm like, comics is a niche, and comics should be in comic places.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. You can totally go, and I mean, we're going to go to Ren fairs with Tales from Nocturnia and all kinds of stuff, so yeah.
Let me tell you, one of the things that's actually kind of fun about what you're talking about, if you do something based on food, there's actually a guy, if you look him up, it's the most ridiculous thing, but it totally works. It's the black metal vegan chef.
Oh my gosh.
And the guy He's a musician I used to know around here, but this guy's like world famous now. He was just at Wacken Festival in Germany. The guy dresses up, complete black metal garb, face painted, all that, and he will make black metal songs about his recipes. And there are some videos up there that are absolutely hilarious. The fact of the matter is, it's legitimate vegan recipes for these meals, and he is like super popular worldwide because he's the vegan black metal chef.
That is crazy.
So, you can beat the comics.
You never know.
So really, guys, and we're just gonna end the show like this. When you're marketing, learn from Matt and Steph. Don't restrict yourselves. I feel like I've been restricting myself, and like I always say on the show, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're the dumbest, and that's why I like to bring on guests onto the show, because they're always smarter than me, and I always learn something from every show. So guys, I hope to market myself better because of what Matt and Steph says. So thanks, guys, so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it, guys. Like I said, we got 10 days left on the campaign. We'd really love you guys to either get over there and back it, or if you think you know somebody that might be into steampunk or metal, or obviously you guys here into comics, we'd love you to at least be able to share with them as well, so that way hopefully you can bring some of those people in and they can involve themselves in our little story.
So real quick, I have the Kickstarter page up on the screen right now. Give us a 1 minute pitch. Give us a 1 minute pitch on this. Why do we need to back this campaign?
All right. Heirs of Isildur is where steampunk comics and metal collide. It's about a respected watchmaker in the puritanical village. Mystical portals, chaos ensues, timeline unravels. We like to say it's time travel, but it's time travel in reverse. It's not about hopping in the time machine and going back to 1955. It's about a puritanical little steampunk village and their watchmaker who's all about making sure time works exactly as it should, who accidentally opens a time portal and starts bringing people from other eras to him. So this guy that's all about making sure time works exactly as it should could be the guy who ultimately breaks the timeline. The trade paperback has got 260 pages, the entire story. You've got the metal album. You've got trading cards. You got a whole bunch of awesomeness. Steph will sign it. I'll sign it. I don't care. We'll get a dang dog to sign it if you wanted to paw print on there. We just think you guys are really going to enjoy this story.
Boom. Well, there you go. It's like you've done that before. It's like you've done that pitch before. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. The link is in the description and in the chat. Go check out Tales of Isildur. You're getting 260 pages worth of freaking comic books. I mean, that's such a success for indie comics, for indie creators to do that. So that you guys are awesome. We'll check you guys out. Everyone, real quick, I am trying to still figure out the schedule for the show. I quit my job on Monday, and I'll be updating you guys what the future brings, but I think it's going to be some good stuff for indie creators. My new job, I think I'm going to be able to do something awesome for indie creators. I talked about it with my new boss. I'll give you guys some updates later, and I'm going to try to, because I don't have to drive an hour and a half to work every single day, I'm going to hope to do more streams and more videos. So thanks guys for watching. Steph, Matt, where can people find you on the social medias?
All right, so the umbrella for us is In Symmetry Creations. If you're on Facebook, you just go to /InSym, which is INSYM. If you're on Twitter, it's InSym Creations, which is INSYM Creations. That's the umbrella for everything that we do. The different titles also have some social medias as well, which, Steph, take it away.
Heirs of Isildur is easy. It's Heirs of Isildur on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Damn, you guys had that like so smooth. Like, Steph, take it away. Frick, you guys are so cute. And real quick, guys, I just gotta say a shout out to LP Larry Higgins in the house. Rebel Comics. He's also one of the mods on this channel. Go check out his channel, where he also has a talk show where he brings on comic book creators, as well as he also has Rebel Gaming as well, which I watch at work every now and then. Thanks guys so much for watching. Let us hit the music. You guys have a good freaking day. Peace.